Welcome and thank you for attending this session, Power BI Data Marts, how to use them. My name is Dennis Torres, I'm a data platform MVP, I live in Malta, I have some Microsoft certifications, and you can see on the screen my contacts. It will be a pleasure to stay in touch, connect on LinkedIn, Twitter, and so on. It will be a pleasure. So, what's the Power BI Data Mart benefit? What benefits the Power BI Data Mart brings to us? So, Data Mart benefits. It's a bottom-up architecture. It can be top-down, but top-down we already have. The point is that now we can use a bottom-up architecture to build a Data Mart. That's new and great. It allows the user to make exploratory analysis. Power BI is very focused on explanatory analysis. We build dashboards to explain the results of our data to the users. But what if the users want to explore the data themselves? That's when we need exploratory analysis. And this helps to end the Excel math our users usually do. A lot of math on Excel. For example, let's say, where is the file? Where is the problem that we have today? We build a wonderful dashboard, we build a very beautiful dashboard, and the user comes to us and says, oh, the dashboard is great, but could I have it in Excel? Why do we suffer with this problem? Why do we have this kind of problem? We have this kind of problem because the difference between exploratory analysis versus explanatory analysis. Let's analyze the difference. Explanatory analysis is for business users, to give business users directly the information they need. Exploratory analysis is to be used by data analysts. The data analysts want to explore the data and discover the information themselves. On the explanatory analysis, we already have a conclusion. We have a conclusion and we use our dashboards and presentation to show the conclusion to the business users. On the exploratory analysis, we don't have a conclusion. We are looking on the data to find a conclusion. And the data analysts need that. They need to look on the data to find their own conclusion. That's why a lot of times we see users asking for an Excel. Explanatory analysis requires storytelling. We talk a lot about storytelling in relation to Power BI. Yes, it's very related, but it's for explanatory analysis, to explain a conclusion we already have for the business users. While exploratory analysis requires research on the data, the users will research on the data to find the conclusions. Explanatory analysis, since it already has the conclusions, will have call to action. Let's react on this. While exploratory analysis is discovering what's useful, what's not useful on the data, to take a conclusion and then move to the next step. The next step from the exploratory analysis will be the explanatory analysis. Data marts bring exploratory analysis to Power BI. Another example about where is the file is the self-service BI. Power BI is great in allowing self-service BI. Our data analysts, our users, Power BI users, are capable to get the data themselves. They can get the data. They don't need to wait the IT team to prepare the data for them. Then we have things like this, for example. an Excel spreadsheet which gets data from another Excel spreadsheet, all linked together and come into Power BI in this example. Isn't my dashboard beautiful? It's that idea that the front end is great, beautiful, but what is on that back end? What is that thing on the back end? That's the idea of having a top-down approach. The top-down approach is when the IT prepare everything and give the data sources to the data analyst. This is a top-down approach, but you can't have it always a top-down approach. That's why Power BI is so powerful in self-service, to allow the users to get the data themselves, what would be a bottom-up approach. But the bottom-up approach allows the users to make a mess on the environment. But using data marts, now we can organize this mess, put some organization on this mess. So, data marts are stored in Azure SQL Database. There is an Azure SQL Database on the background of the data marts. This enables both the top-down approach. Sometimes we would like to get some subsets of data and give this subset of data to specific groups of users to have even better performance querying that subset of data. A top-down approach. Or bottom-up approach, when the users have a lot of Excel files or other kinds of files and would like to create the reports and dashboard based on those files. We can use the bottom-up to push those files to the data mart and build the dashboards from the data mart. So, the data mart works with a top-down approach or bottom-up approach. Let's see a demonstration about all these I just explained. We have here a set of 3 Excel files, big product, product model, and transaction history. These files are more organized than a regular user files would be, but still they will work for our example. Let's see how we can make a data mart in Power BI. I have a premium workspace, AI Data Virtual Summit. This can be premium per user as well. Let's create a new data mart. Okay, I use get data to get my information, the information from those 3 files. My files are located on premise, so I will need to use a data gateway. I have a data gateway installed here. On-premise data gateway. It's already installed, configured. I did this before. I will not go in details about the configuration of the data gateway. When reading a file from on-premise, if I know exactly the path of the file and pass the path of the file, the data gateway recognizes an existing connection to that file, and we will be using this existing connection instead of creating a new connection on the gateway. So that's it. Next, for the first one, this is product model. I will choose here product model, transform data. And here we have our product model table. I'll do it a bit faster for the other 2. The steps are absolutely the same. And now I have inside Power Query the table big product, transaction history, and product model, each one coming from different Excel files. So let's change the name of big product to product. I'll make some edits. I will remove some columns. I will remove discontinued date, sell end date, sell start date, columns that I don't really need. Subcategory to size, make flag, finish good, safety stock level. Before I can join the two tables, I need to be sure the fields product model ID are of the same type. On the product table, it was identified as text. I need to identify as whole number. Then I'll be able to join the two tables. Okay, now I can use mesh queries. Mesh queries, product with product model, based on the product model ID. Okay, it's estimating the matches. Okay, let's expand product model. What I want is the name of the model. Name. Let's rename the column. Model name. The result of the merge is marked as a dynamic table because it's a merge result. But if I explain that I don't need really to load the product model table, I'm using it only as a middleware for the processing of the product table, it's not a dynamic table anymore. Then I have transaction history. Let's leave transaction history as it is, and it's okay. I can save this result as my data mart. And here is my data mart. So now I have that bunch of Excel files loaded into Power BI and an Azure SQL database, because the data mart has an Azure SQL database behind it, and it can be used as source for multiple reports by multiple users. And I have only one point of management of the load of that bunch of Excel files. Only the data mart will be responsible for managing the load of those Excel files. So I can rename the data mart. Let's call it Adventure. Okay, I have here down on the window the model area where I can establish some model rules. For example, a relationship between product and transaction history. I can create measures here, leave some measures predefined on this model. So I create a initial model that will be reused by many users. Then I go to the query tab and I can make queries, visual queries on my data. What this means? This means that I can explore my data inside Power BI. I can make data exploration inside Power BI. Let's get the transaction history table here. The product table. I can merge both tables, merge queries. So I merge transaction history with product by product ID. That's it. What information do I would like to have from product? I'd like to have the model name. I want to bring the model name. This is an exploration. I'm exploring my data. Okay, I brought the model name. Now I will group by the information by model name. I will calculate a total with the sum of the actual cost in the transaction history table. So I'm grouping my data and I can immediately see the result of my exploration, and I can even open this result in Excel if I would like. So if this exploration is not enough for me, if this manipulation of the data is not enough for me to discover new information, I can open this data in Excel. Let me give a name for this query. Total by model. And I can create a new query. I can use visual queries like I just did, or I can use SQL queries. SQL queries. In SQL queries, I need to type the SQL. Let's copy SQL here. I need to type the SQL and then execute. And it brings me the result. Yes, I'm executing a SQL query over our data because the background of the data mart is an Azure SQL database. So this is allowing the user to make exploratory analysis over our data. And I will rename the query SQL total by model. My queries stay saved together the data mart, and I can open this result in Excel. Open in Excel. Let me open the Excel file. Enable edit. Enable the content. And I will execute the query, that query that I built, over the SQL database. I need to connect using my Power BI login. That's it. So, if the capability of making visual queries and make SQL queries is still not enough for your user can get the data himself and open an Excel file. So that famous question the users always ask, could I have this data in Excel? That's the user problem now. Make a data mart for the user, let him explore his data, and if he would like the data in Excel, he can have the data in Excel, but it will be connected to the data mart. It will be linked to the data mart, not create a disconnected Excel spreadsheet. And we can open Power BI Desktop. This data mart can be used as the source for multiple user reports. Get data. Power Platform, we have here the option to get data from data mart. And here we have the AI Data Virtual Summit, the Adventure Data Mart I created for the AI Virtual Summit. And I can even choose if I will connect directly to the data mart. This means that I'll be able to reuse all the model configuration made on the data mart, or if I would like to use the SQL endpoint. In this case, I'll get the data in SQL. I will not have the model configuration made in the data mart. Let's say that I want to reuse the model. And we can see the relationship I created on the data mart. Product and transaction history already done. It's already done here for the report. So many users can reuse this data mart without the mess of Excel files that our users usually do. In this way, in this demonstration, we are showing the data mart solves a lot of problems, solves the bottom-up problems, getting the Excel files and putting on a data mart, sharing with multiple users, and allowing the users to make exploratory analysis and even extract Excel file from the data mart. So, organizing a lot the work our users already love to do. Some reference about data marts. This is a great article about data mart released when the data mart was being released by Microsoft. And my contacts again. Thank you very much for attending this session.